people who hoarded gas 2 weeks ago. How are things going for you now? There was one woman who was using a stolen car to hoard gas, and when a state police officer tried to pull her over, she ended up flipping the car and the gas ignited inside the vehicle. Just used the gas to help my neighbor burn his house down for insurance purposes. These are all joke answers. So here's a serious one. My neighbors hoarded at least 3 gas cans worth. I say at least because I only saw him unpacking the last 3 when I got home. He knocked on my door today and offered to sell me 1 gallon for $1.50. But I rejected. Last I saw, he was lugging it to a friend's house. There was a small spike in car fires along the interstate where I lived during the time when people were hoarding. Can't say for certain if the events are related, but the timing was sure on point. Till gas has a shelf life. I put my gasoline in styrofoam coolers. Now I have napalm. *win**. What is something you say to scammers instead of hanging up? Please do not post phone numbers or other personal information in this thread. See Rule 4. Hi. We have been trying to reach you about your car's warranty. That's great. What plans can you offer me on my 97 Geo Metro? I've only been in 6 wrecks. They usually just give up. Oh, hang on. Let me get the less than wife, husband, parent, appropriate decision-making figure greater than. They'll be able to help you. Quote. Then just turn the microphone off and go about my day. I give them a phone number 1 digit at a time and ask them to repeat it as a whole after each one. Then tell them they got it wrong when I'm done and start over. I once saw caller ID. Landline days. With a number that I figured was a telemarketer. In a tough voice. Without saying hello, I asked, "Is he dead?" And about a beat and a half later I said, "Because if he ain't dead, don't you even think about coming back here." Then what sounded like a young woman on the other end said, bye. Hope she had as much fun telling her friends as I had telling mine. I've put them on hold before. As if I'm working in a call center. Had a guy on hold for 5 or so minutes. It was quite ridiculous that he stayed on the line. Boys, if it was considered more universally acceptable, what is a girly thing you would do? I used to think baking was girly, but I've been doing it since a kid and I absolutely love it. Talk more openly about feelings. Some shit really just needs to be worked out. I brush my friend's hair and she taught me how to braid it. We keep it quiet. Guy in his 40s, married with 2 kids. My hobbies include playing drums, woodworking, hiking. I take baths and put bubbles in because I like nice smells and it relaxes aches after working. I use moisturizer that includes sunblock because I'm in my 40s and my skin looks fucking great. I use conditioner on my hair because it's no extra effort and makes a massive difference. I drink whatever cocktails sound appealing. I haven't tried before because you only live once. I prefer mixed company because guy chat can be tedious. I take care of what I eat, but I'm not obsessive about exercise. I enjoy gardening and my home is full of houseplants which I tend religiously. I have a huge interest in design, art and music of all types with a special interest in jewelry. Design. If somebody tells you shit is girly, it's pure ignorance, and at my age I have 0 fucks for that kind of limited mindset. Drink a rainbow-colored cocktail at a bar and watch more rom-com shit. Compliment my friends more. What was that specific moment that completely altered the course of your life? I was diagnosed with cancer at 19. I was pursuing a career in the culinary arts. Loving life and all that. Now, I'm 37. I've had 8 different instances of cancer thanks to a genetic mutation that makes me randomly develop melanoma tumors. I'm on disability. And cooking a single meal is exhausting most days. I've spent my entire adult life focused on this battle. I gave up having children, a job, a business. But I'm alive. So, yay? I'd had a huge fight with an abusive mother that had a mental breakdown. Throwing stuff. Calling family to say I'd attacked her. Screaming. Hitting me, etc. Went to a friend's house and stayed there for a month. Experiencing that freedom and independence and seeing his life pushed me to find a way to obtain my own freedom. I'm now moving into my own place next year after living in a hostel. I distinctly remember standing on his balcony and realizing I would either die or get to where he was, and I refused to go back. I regret nothing. Edit. The hardest part about my mother is she can be so nice oftentimes. She can be loving and even self-sacrificial if it means protecting her children. But ultimately mental illness creeps in and it breaks the person you thought you knew. In her case, she has diagnosed BPD that she refuses to accept as anything but a conspiracy against her. She had a hard life and I empathize with her, but the toxic behaviors and learned helplessness were too much. The day I stopped smoking weed and pulled myself together 2 years ago, and my life is on another level. My first beating, completely at random, which broke one of my ribs, from my father at age 11. It's almost 30 years later. And I am doing well. And have received therapy. But that moment of my dad coming up behind me to assault me can fuck off forever. When Pennsylvania raised the cigarette tax by almost $3 a pack. I quit that day after smoking a pack a day for over 10 years. Haven't had one since. Only decent thing the state of Pennsylvania has ever done for me, lol. The day I took some cocaine that was clearly not cocaine. It was awful. I didn't sleep for 3 days, was incredibly ill and depressed. Only one eye dilated, so I was convinced I'd given myself brain injury. It was terrifying, but I never took hard drugs again, and I believe that day is the reason I'm not a junkie now. Instead, I have a great boyfriend, lovely house and job I enjoy. Adults of Reddit who haven't been asked since they were kids. What is your favorite dinosaur and why? Triceratops, because when I was in 2nd grade one brought my model of one into show and tell. Still don't know why they made the model navy blue. But there you go. Edit. For those that thought the color was due to it being attached to a product, show. It wasn't. The show and tell happened in 1970 and I put the model together myself using airplane glue. Muttaburrasaurus, he was an Aussie dinosaur that honked at his mates. Diplodocus. I like all sauropods. But I love how big a Diplodocus is. They look like weird suspension bridges to me. Why are they so long? Love them. Ankylosaurus for sure. That sledgehammer tail is badass. Stegosaurus was my original favorite because I liked its plates and spikes. I had a large plush Stegosaurus as a kid and loved seeing them in Dino Riders. I also had the walking Stegosaurus with armor and side pods. And Fantasia. Allosaurus. What sound automatically fills you with horror and dread? My alarm. The landline phone ringing cause it meant a ton of anxiety. Sudden loud knocking on the door. Running water in an area where it isn't supposed to be. Microsoft Teams incoming call tone. Smoke detector beeping. You can instantly travel to Mars and back the day before a NASA landing. What do you leave behind to mess with them? A Viking ship. The Vikings came here first. A half-buried tablet that reads, Alpha Build 0.5, Planet Design in Progress. A manifest. With all their names on it. And one random name. And a second list with all random names all tilde tilde scratched out tilde tilde. A human skull. A picnic set up. Blanket. Picnic basket. Plates and sandwiches laid out. With a note asterisk darling. I forgot the potato salad. Had to home to get it. Be back in a few minutes asterisk. 1,000 plus mannequins surrounding the area where they're going to land. I'd also put them in spacesuits so they look like real people.
Subscribe, my brothers.